It takes all of us to stop hate.
Hundreds of motorcycles making their way down State Route 51, circling around Turning Point USA headquarters.
Just to show support. I mean, riding is freedom, you know, to let people know that we're still out here. We're not going to cave. We're not going to falter. We're still going to stand up for our rights.
These riders are out in memory of Charlie Kirk, who was killed on Wednesday while speaking at Utah Valley University.
I couldn't believe it. I was just on a ride. I got off my bike, looked at my phone, and I was in shock. I just started following Charlie on social media probably about 6 months ago. I just liked his interaction at the universities. And what he had to say. He was a brilliant man. He really was. So he's really makes people think about everything that they're saying and teaching in the schools today. So yeah, I was saddened, very saddened, and in shock.
Just to show support for somebody who did not deserve what happened. It's not about political left, political right. He spoke his truth, and he was killed for it. And it doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on, you still have the freedom to feel the way you feel.
All right, guys, so we got to continue our coverage of the tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk, as around the world, people, decent people, sane people, are mourning, okay, over what happened to Charlie Kirk. This is everywhere from Utah to Australia to the UK, right? Even in the UK, you have individuals that are mourning the death of Charlie Kirk and the impact that he had on the world.
Today, can you just tell me why you've come down?
For Charlie.
What does his death mean to you?
It breaks our liberty for expression, basically.
Here on vacation from Los Angeles, you've turned up here to the Charlie Kirk vigil. Can you tell me why you're here?
Yeah, well, I had seen Charlie Kirk at my college, University of San Diego, and it was like, a great thing to see. And, I'm a supporter of Charlie Kirk myself. I think, he was peaceful. A lot of people in America said he was extremely divisive, but at the end of the day, he was just sharing his opinion. He had no legislative power, so there's nothing wrong he did, and, the way he went out, it's awful. And the fact that you see, liberals trying to justify it, it's, disgusting. So I'm here to show my support for Charlie Kirk, and long live him.
I had no idea that was
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, right? Imagery like that helps restore faith in humanity, right? That, there are decent people in this world who understand that, this is not something to kiki ha to celebrate or anything like that.
What do you think would happen to Charlie Kirk?
It's just messed up, totally messed up. That was messed up. Nobody deserved that. He definitely didn't deserve that. He was a good guy.
You think he was a good guy?
I think he was.
You think?
Good morals.
Captain Kirk. The what?
The only Kirk you recognize is Captain Kirk. I don't know Charlie Kirk. I don't know who that is.
You don't know who it is?
I don't know who that is.
I know who it was. Like,
I only know about him when
all of us have flaws. I can't really tell you what to believe in or how to feel. Like, everybody's having a human experience. Like, why knock him for having this human experience or what he believe in?
Even though even though he says things that are anti-women, black, all that.
I can't judge him for that.
You can't.
I can't judge him for that. But I can use judgment. He didn't deserve that.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a human being.
Yeah.
You are very spiritual.
You know, yeah. I can't go left. I can't go left with that.
No, you sound like, you mean left, going left, not left.
Because I'm humanity. Yeah. I'm humanity and left first.
No, I love that. So the first person I spoke to here didn't want to be on camera, and he said, I can't judge him because I'm not God. And so let him, whatever the reaction is, if the government wants to give him a state-like funeral, if they let him do it because God is the only judge. And
yeah, like nobody really can judge him.
Yeah.
And like I kind of like seen him before all of this happened, but I don't see what everybody else was seeing. Right. So,
Yeah. Hey, that's how you feel. It's nice to see you.
But, I think one of the reasons why you're seeing such a crazy reaction from the left is because of the fact that Charlie Kirk made an impact on the world, right? And the numbers don't lie when it comes to the impact that Charlie made. I mean, he made such an impact that even CNN had to acknowledge that, he was a force to be reckoned with at such a young age, which, again, is part of the reason why he received so much hate from the left.
As we remember Charlie Kirk, I think, of course, it's important to note that one of his main missions was to engage with and bring younger folks over to the conservative side of the aisle. And based upon the results of the last presidential election, I think we can say he was quite successful in doing so. What are we talking about? Well, let's take a look at 18 to 24-year-olds who voted for Donald Trump. That is, voters under the age of 25. Look at this. In 2016, it was just 34%. Jump ahead to 2020, it was just 31%. But look in this past presidential election in 2024. Donald Trump's percentage of voters under the age of 25 jumped all the way up to 43% of the vote. Indeed, when you compare his percentage of the vote with that of Kamala Harris's, and we look at the margin, we can say that Trump had the best performance for any Republican nominee for president this entire century among voters under the age of 25. Now, when we dig into the numbers a little bit deeper, we can see even more of the influence of Charlie Kirk. What are we talking about? Well, let's take a look at males under the age of 25. That is age 18 to 24-year-old males, presidential margin. You go back to 2016, Hillary Clinton easily won that vote by 11 points. You jump ahead to 2020, you can see Joe Biden nearly doubled Clinton's margin, won it by an even larger margin. Look at this, a 20-point win for Joe Biden. But look at this past presidential election. Donald Trump actually won males under the age of 25. He won them by 3 points, and in doing so became the first Republican nominee for president to win males under the age of 25 this entire century. Now, one of the reasons that Donald Trump was so successful among younger voters was because of advice given to him by Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk said, bypass the traditional media, go straight on the podcast, talk to younger voters where they are. Indeed, that was one heck of a good piece of advice, because get this, where Generation Z prefers to get its news, only 8% prefer to get it on television. Look at digital, though. We're talking social media, we're talking podcasts, etc. 86% of Generation Z prefers to get its news through digital media. So that advice that Charlie Kirk gave to Donald Trump to bypass the traditional media to reach out to younger voters, it was a really smart piece of advice. Of course, it wasn't Kirk merely advising Donald Trump to bypass the traditional media to reach out to younger voters. Charlie Kirk did it himself, right? Of course, we've seen all those campus rallies that he did, engaging with younger voters there. But of course, it was also on podcasts, on digital, where Charlie Kirk was engaging with younger voters. So get this, the Charlie Kirk Show podcast ranking, well, this past quarter, it ranked in the top 10 in news, ranked in the top 10. So it wasn't just that Charlie Kirk was advising Donald Trump. It was, of course, that Charlie Kirk was meeting the younger voters where they were and trying to persuade them to his side of the aisle. And based upon the 2024 election results, I think we could say that Charlie Kirk was quite successful.
Yeah, I mean, he was a leader, right? I mean, he had accomplished things politically that people don't accomplish in a lifetime of politics, right? That's what he did. That's the impact that he had, again, specifically on young people. And I think, again, that is why the left hated him so much that, again, you had some lunatic decide to assassinate him because he was too effective at what he did. He was influencing too many people, again, particularly young men, right? In a direction that we haven't seen young men go in a while. And I think that that legacy is going to live on. And I think, again, one of the signs that the legacy is going to continue to live on, that he's going to continue to make an impact, is just how mad and upset leftists are at the fact that people are mourning Charlie Kirk and celebrating his legacy and impact, which I think is what happened here in this story we got to talk about a man being arrested for sickening act at Charlie Kirk Memorial outside Turning Point headquarters in Phoenix. So you have a 19-year-old who decided to vandalize the memorial outside of Turning Point. Let's actually play this video. So this individual decides that he wants to vandalize the memorial. And then a patriot comes and snatches him. They're detaining him. Yeah, he's been arrested. Again, stuff like this it's sad. It really is. It's so funny because, you know, these individuals claim to be against hate, but they're everything that they claim they're against. You have to be a hateful person to do something like that. Now, let's pause. Because as you can see here, and this is one of the main reasons I wanted to cover this story, is that look at this guy's shirt. This guy's shirt is the same shirt that the assassin was wearing. So what you have here is an individual that was inspired by the assassin to then go and vandalize the Charlie Kirk Memorial. Now, again, why would this person be incentivized to do that? Well, it's because you have a bunch of lunatics currently online celebrating what happened to Charlie Kirk, right? And because of the fact that they're celebrating it, you already have copycats that are being spawned as a result of what you're seeing these leftists do online, right? That's what's happening. And that is why you currently have people being canceled, so to speak, losing their jobs online for celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Right? They want to pretend as if, oh, that's a harmless thing to do. Completely, totally harmless. And first and foremost, again, it shows your character, right? The type of character that you have as a person to do something like that, right? First and foremost. But also on top of that, the celebrations, again, it inspires stuff like this. This is why this guy did this, right? There's no doubt in my mind that this person saw a lot of his friends, a lot of people online celebrating it, and he was like, oh, if I go and I do something like this, then you're going to have a whole bunch of people online saying that I'm a hero, right? Praising me for this. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. You already have copycats. You already have copycats. And this is why it's important not to fall for the left-wing narrative that, you know, they're currently desperately trying to protect, okay, in order to deflect from the ideological motivations behind what happened to Charlie Kirk, because they know they can't come out here with a straight face and to continue to push this silly narrative that somehow, some way, this is right-wing infighting, right? What happened to Charlie Kirk? That guy was a radicalized leftist. This is a radicalized leftist, and it does matter what the motivation was. And the reason why it matters is because you have to figure out what is fueling this. What fuels young people to do something like this, to commit something like this? Why? 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 I'm not even gonna play the video of this individual vandalizing a memorial again, but it's like, why? Because again, a decent person would understand, okay, I might not like the guy, but you know, am I really gonna go out here and vandalize a memorial? Why? But again, you only do this when you become radicalized. You become radicalized with hatred. And again, that's the ironic part about these individuals, is that they'll tell you, well, Charlie deserved it because he was spreading hate. And then they'll turn around and do stuff like this. And then they'll pretend as if they're against hate, when these people are actually everything that they claim they're against. Only hate can lead to somebody doing something like this. Only hate can lead to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. This is the actual hate that this country needs to deal with. Whatever inspired this right here, whatever inspired this individual to do this is the hate that this country needs to deal with. That's what we have to know. That's the conversation that these people refuse to have, because again, that's why they don't want to be honest about the radicalization, the political radicalization of Charlie Kirk's assassin. Because again, if they actually were honest about it, then again, you got to have real conversations about what's causing the political violence. Then again, as we've seen over the past week or so, a lot of these people, they just agree with the violence, right? So they have no interest whatsoever in acknowledging the problem because they don't see a problem, right? They don't see a problem. And again, that's how you get this. But regardless of the hate from individuals like this, it's not going to stop Charlie's legacy from living on, right? It's not going to stop Turning Point from making an even greater impact, okay? I saw that there were thousands of individuals signing up to open chapters, right? To expand the movement. And again, that's why you're seeing the need for individuals to do stuff like this, because they realize that they now have a much bigger problem than Charlie Kirk to deal with at this point as a result of what happened to Charlie Kirk. Again, they created a much bigger problem for themselves. They set themselves back with that, right? And again, that's why you're seeing that. That's why you're seeing it. That's why you're seeing it. So let's read about what happened here, okay? Because the fact is that this individual was very young. And I think that this is a part of the problem in this country, again, particularly when you talk about left-wing radicalization, the young people that are targeted. So let's read here. A man was arrested and charged after he blatantly trampled the growing memorial for Charlie Kirk outside the Turning Point USA headquarters in Phoenix on Sunday. Fox News cameras were rolling as the man walked through the memorial, kicking over items including flowers, vases, and flags. A mourner gathered at the memorial stepped in to stop the man's sick actions. A man in a blue polo shirt is seen yanking the man out of the memorial and throwing him to the ground. Phoenix police identified the alleged vandal as 19-year-old Ryder Corral. In video of Corral's arrest, he appears to be wearing a shirt similar to the one worn by the man suspected of assassinating Kirk. Yeah, so again, copycat. We already got copycats. Corral was wearing a black shirt featuring an American flag and an eagle. The shirt bears a striking resemblance to the shirt worn by Tyler Robinson when he allegedly shot and killed Kirk while he was speaking at Utah Valley University on Wednesday. Yeah, so again, this is a 19-year-old. Okay, he is in custody and will be booked on charges including criminal damage and disorderly conduct, according to the Phoenix Police Department. Now, you know, it's just sad at this point. It really is that you have 19-year-olds who are this radicalized in this country to do stuff like this. But, you know, again, this is what we're currently dealing with. And to me, again, this is a problem that has to be addressed, right? You got to address this. It doesn't make sense for kids to be doing stuff like this. A 19-year-old, what does this guy know, right? What does he know at 19 years old? He doesn't know enough about Charlie Kirk. He doesn't know enough about life to be this upset, to be this mad, to vandalize a memorial. While people are mourning. It's sick. It really is. We're dealing with sick people here, okay? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.